I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
Stars and Marvel, Miss Marvel Part 4
Yep.
of 6. And
6, yeah.
my opinion after this part is this should have been a movie.
Yeah, 1000% should have been a movie. I have no idea where they're going with this.
It's going to be super anticlimactic, I think,
because it's just going to lead into the Marvels, or what? Right? Isn't that the movie?
I said it on Twitter yesterday after I finished the episode, and I've said it on the podcast. But this might be the best show. The characters in this show, I already wrote it. This show may have some of the best characters Marvel's ever created with some of the worst Marvel content ever created.
Oh yeah, I feel like we talked about the last episode. It's such a better show than it is an MCU show. It's such a better focusing on their family and focusing on the mom's backstory with the grandma and all that type of stuff. And then when they throw in MCU stuff, it's like it kind of just throws off the rest of the show.
It really does. It's like the actual Marvel stuff is what's boring. And I have no interest in the Clandestine. The fact that they are definitely the overall villain, I don't give a shit about that.
One of my notes in here was all right, so we know they're the villain, and that kind of sucks because they suck. They don't seem like that much of a threat.
But exactly. And so here's the Clandestine so far. They're a group of couple century-old people who can't beat up a 16-year-old girl with power she just got.
Just found out.
They have these weird weapons which are kind of cool, but that's it. That's all there is to them, and that they're trying to get to their dimension. And we just found out, that's going to be a bad idea. Obviously, that was going to be a bad idea.
Yeah, we've learned that interdimensional travel has not played well for many MCU characters. So.
Exactly.
So it's I don't know. Yeah, the whole. I was just very this last episode, the way it ended, I was just like, what the hell are they gonna what the hell is happening?
And that's what they did, the classic Disney Plus show thing where they set up what is clearly going to be the backstory part 5 episode, right?
Yeah, the flashback.
We're gonna get the train, and that, but the cliffhanger was happening and it was ending, and I was like, "There's no way this is it." Nothing's happened in this episode.
No, yeah, exactly. Nothing happened. I mean, we met the Red Daggers, but other than that, that was
which I've never heard of before. I didn't look it up.
I don't know. I don't know if they're the good guys. I mean, obviously they seem like the good guys, but so did the Clandestines, and now they're the bad guys. So exactly. Are they also going to be the bad guys? Are they still the good guys? Are they bad guys in the future?
So a real quick Google search: Red Dagger is a single person. His name is Kareem, which I assume is
so be the leader guy. I guess
I assume it's the kid that she's hanging out with.
Oh, okay, because that makes sense. Yeah.
Let me my guess is that it was a group. In the show, it's a group.
Yeah,
but I think the kid that is still alive, spoilers, but the kid that's still alive, I think he's the one that's the quote unquote Red Dagger.
Yeah,
from the comics, I'd assume. And I thought he was a cool character. He was fun, bouncing around, a lot of parkour. Always loved some Assassin's Creed style parkour.
Knives. Oh yeah,
throwing that, exactly. He was really cool, but didn't the Marvel. It's so frustrating.
Yeah,
he was a great character. Miss Marvel and him are great together.
Oh yeah. This definitely like you said, would have made a better movie than a TV show, because I feel like they're just trying to put too much into it now since it's a show, because they have so much time to fill.
Right, they're trying to fluff it up way too much, and what it's ending up being is we're focusing on nothing. If this was you don't even have to make it a theatrical film. That's my whole thing with Disney Plus is I think they need to dive more into Disney Plus movies.
Release movies. Yep.
Yeah,
that would
give me
make
a 2.5 hour Miss Marvel movie.
especially something like this where it's not like, an Avengers movie. It's not like, something everybody knows about. Miss Marvel is a fairly new character. So
Right.
it's something they could easily just, hey, let's make a 2-hour, straight to Disney Plus movie and call it a day.
I think it would have been so much better because I think you would have had so much more like flow to it. Like there wouldn't have been so much hesitation between things. Like, are we just not going to see Bruno and Knox now?
Yeah,
like,
are they
we're
just
in
not?
Pakistan?
Like, we're just not going to care about them anymore. Like
right? Like, what is the setup there? Like, the last time we saw Knox, she's upset because, understandably so, she didn't know that Kamala was Miss Marvel or Nightlight at the time. Like, there's way too much. It's so weird how there's not enough time in this show, and it's also too much is happening.
This is like a 6-part origin story, and it's just way too long to be an origin story.
And
because she's not even Miss Marvel yet, she's still Nightlight. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what
it would be like if they turned the first 40 minutes of the first Raimi Spider-Man into a 6-part series where he's the Man Spider, and then the ending of the you know what I mean? Like,
right, like it ended, like if the series ended when Spider-Man graduates high school and starts swinging in his real suit, that's when this is going to end.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And like even in this episode, we got the costume. She got her her red outfit with the blue vest on top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but I know that's not the costume because the gosh darn promo
posters have
her real costume.
I'm guessing that's going to be like the last scene of the show is her like suiting up, and then and then it cuts out, and her
it's almost like, why even do this like in between costume? Like she's already, her in between costume was Nightlight. Like we don't need another in between costume.
Exactly. Yeah. It just, I don't know. I'm starting to get frustrated with the show because I guess it's because there's no one in the show that we know, like character wise. I mean, other than Miss Marvel, like, I mean, I know we got introduced to the DODC in the Spider-Man
I want to
movies.
talk about that too.
And then the clandestines, who gives a shit about, like, who cares about them?
No.
The Red Dagger people, I mean, I was kind of like, oh, okay, another group of people, like,
right. And now they're not a group. Now it's just one guy.
It's just one guy. Yeah.
It's the Red Dagger. And I actually wanted to, something we were talking about, the origin story, right? Like I think putting origin stories on Disney Plus is a good idea because because people tend to dislike or like less the origin movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the Thor ones, the Captain America ones, well, not Doctor Strange. That's like a godsend among origin stories, but like people don't like the first movie because it gets dragged on a lot. And so I understand putting them on Disney Plus, but it's just, it's watered down. It's milky meh. It's so bleh. And I think it's funny to compare this with Moon Knight because I heard a lot of people kind of give similar complaints about Moon Knight, but for me, I enjoyed the kind of craziness of the characters. It kept me along for the ride, so to speak.
Yeah, I did like I don't know where this is going to go because like in the beginning you thought, like at least I thought like someone was taking him over, but it was literally just two personalities. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I thought, yeah. And that made the story more interesting is he was bouncing back between, was it Mark and Steven?
Steven,
right?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's been a while, I guess.
Yeah. So that made it interesting, and that made, like, I guess for a counterpoint for Miss Marvel, the interesting part is her actual life. Like, her life is Kamala Khan, not her life is Nightlight / Miss Marvel.
And it's weird, right? Because it's good to, like, look, we talked about the whole not our stuff kind of thing, but it's good to see that a young teenage girl demographic is being written well. Like it's I'm glad that that's happening, but I feel bad because the Marvel stuff is boring.
Just
like,
so, yeah.
Moon Knight's villain was so much better than the clandestine. Far. Like you're sitting there like, oh my God, he's walking on glass. What's his deal? Like he's lying to everybody.
He was like a creepy cult leader, like, all this stuff. And then these clandestines are just,
oh, we're your friends. 30 minutes later, no,
we want to kill you. Yeah. Like, I don't I feel like they rushed too quickly of the switch from friend to enemy. Like it literally happened in the same episode. Like
and can all right, so I want to also talk like damage control and clandestine. I swear I muted that. What is going on? Damage control and clandestine stuff. I'm a little bitter with Disney Plus right now. My one of my biggest complaints at the Obi-Wan Kenobi finale was that Reva shows up on Tatooine before Obi-Wan's even off planet, right?
Yeah,
like that time period made no sense. It was bad. What happened there? In this, we see them escape. We see the clandestine escape from damage control, which is assumably in the United States or at least international waters.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, they're in Pakistan?
Yeah, right. Like they just they don't seem to have any teleport
transportation works.
Yeah, like I know they're interdimensional beings, but they haven't. The only powers they've shown are them pulling out weapons and making them bigger. Like they haven't
exactly.
They don't. They can't teleport. They can't fly. They can't. Like.
I am just that again. It took me right, like just like with Obi-Wan, it took me right out of the episode. I was like, we just saw them escape. Like, are you gonna try and tell me that was a week ago? Like, I don't know how long. I meant to look it up. I don't know how long a flight to Pakistan is from here, but my guess is it's like a full day.
Yeah, I can imagine like maybe 12 hours, like maybe not 12 hours, but like 9 hours or so. Like it's probably a decent because it's right next to India, so that's
it's a minimum of 22 hours. Is
what okay, well there we go.
So like
you need a full day to.
We're talking from where we are in Pennsylvania. Like again, that.
And I mean, they're not
where that is,
and they're not like. I mean, I guess we don't know where the DODC prison is, but like if it's in the New York, Jersey area, that's not far from where we are right now. So it'd still be like a 20-hour flight.
And the other thing I'd like to talk over with you, they specifically said DODC prison, right?
Yeah,
not the raft, which is where
was that
Shield was keeping people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think that was the raft.
Because I mean, I do have to say though that prison was awesome. Like when they showed it, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. That's some giant ass prison for a department we've never heard of before.
Right.
Like the past couple properties, but
I'm trying to remember, but wasn't it like the Pentagon looking? Like
it looked like the Pentagon. Yeah.
I thought it was very cool design. Yeah, that's props to that. I agree.
It reminded me of like a almost like a raft / what the hell is it? Bell Riv? No. What's the Spider-Man one?
Come on.
That's DC's Bell Riv.
It's Arkham Asylum, but in Marvel.
Yeah, I forget what it is. But it reminded me of that. Like it reminded me of sort of like a but for mutants, not mutants, but for enhanced.
Yeah, right. Well,
as they call them.
Maybe it'll be for mutants eventually. That's which actually, real quick sides. I just heard today. Apparently, someone I already forget who it was, some famous person I should know, but some famous guy let leak that he is legitimately working with Disney on a Doctor Doom. Project.
I saw a thumbnail pop up for that on YouTube, like Doctor Doom project confirmed, and I was like, it's probably bullshit. Like I'm not gonna. But
apparently, so there's a recording of him, and he thought he was off the air or something. Like I don't know the logistics of how it happened, but he thought he wasn't being recorded when he was talking about it. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be this busy this summer. I got this Doctor Doom thing going on. Disney called me over for.
Damn.
And it's like, so it was literally just a name drop, but it just felt like it sounds legit. It sounds legit, whether it's Fantastic Four and he just said Doctor Doom. Like, no one knows. Something Doctor Doom related is happening though. That's the story.
That'll definitely make it more towards a Secret Wars thing coming up.
I don't know. We're getting there. There.
But he did say like it's MCU. It's not like a Sony BS thing.
I don't think he said MCU specifically, but I think he said Disney.
Okay.
Disney.
I mean, I guess Sony wouldn't have the rights to Fantastic Four.
No, Fox had them. So
yeah,
Disney
did have them. Now Disney has them.
Now
they own everything.
Yeah, I got it. So with the episode, after the damage control thing, I gotta say, cool fight scenes in this episode. Again,
that's what I have written down here. Like the choreography and everything for the fights were very good.
The thing about it is, I enjoyed the wedding fight scenes. It was just my thing was I felt like that was unrealistic. The fact that she was holding her own against these people that should be better than her.
Clearly, yeah.
Having her fight against the Red Dagger kid that well, see that I was like, oh hell yeah. It's another like 16, 17-year-old kid fighting this 16-year-old girl. Like, and she has powers. Like it all like that fight I thought was perfect. Yeah. And then even when the clandestine are there fighting them, I thought that was a much better fight because she was barely using her powers. And to me, that was like, because she's like so scared she forgets she has powers.
Yeah. Yeah. That fight, I really liked her use of her powers in the Red Dagger fight.
Yeah.
Like how when she fell on the ground and was holding him up by the or no, he was on the ground and she was like on top of him.
Yes.
But like hovering over him. I was like, that's pretty cool.
No, that's what like and it was a cool fight because she really integrated both her like stretchy powers and the new platform powers she has.
Yeah.
So like again, I agree with what you said. I think it's a very good choreography fight. Like it was just enjoyable. It was fun. I forget if the music was good, but like I just remember enjoying it. Like they're alone at the train station or whatever, and they're just kind of like jumping around each other. Like it was a fun fight. I liked it a lot. That was probably the best Marvel thing I feel like we've actually seen in the show so far.
Yeah. I and one thing I really liked, like imagery wise in this episode, was when the head of the Red Dagger was explaining like the multi-dimensional stuff. Like in his
hologram table thing.
Yeah, yep. When that was like pretty cool imagery for that. I was like, it's
I thought
we'd never seen before.
Yeah, I thought it was cool seeing like the Stark technology, but in a different way. Like right, like it almost looks like that was produced by a different company than Stark Industries, kind of a thing.
Yeah, maybe,
so I thought that was
maybe a Hammer Tech or
maybe
whatever.
a Hammer Tech.
Yeah,
but that's what like I agree. Like I think it was cool because it was similar enough that it's like, oh, Marvel, but also different enough. You're like, that's someone else.
Yeah.
I did think it was my only like not like comment on that was I thought it was funny, like it came out of like a brick floor, like it's just I just put that, just like leave it in the room or something, like you don't need to make it magically come out of nowhere, like
just have it.
But no, I really agree. I agree. The like cube, it was like a cube with like slices. It was really cool. Like I liked it a lot. I like seeing new fake technology.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know what other, like, again, I'm jumping around, like keep going with the fight stuff. Like, so the mentor Red Dagger gets killed, right? Like that was, I was like, Val called that one. We're in mid fight and she's like, well, the older guy's gonna die. I'm like, just let me enjoy. Like, I don't know. I can't, my brain's not putting that together yet. But yeah, he gets killed. And good death, classic good death, like sacrificial kind of
sort of a, yeah.
But no, like, so there's that. I'm trying to, how the hell did it actually end? Like, I know like the train thing, but what? Oh, that's right. The clandestine stabs her gauntlet.
Yes. Yep.
And I want to go back to talk about like the Pakistan family and all that stuff. Like we're not done.
We'll cover that.
The fight stuff. No, and that's what, like, even the cliffhanger itself wasn't bad. It was like, so the clandestine person stabs her gauntlet, and now do we think she time traveled?
Yeah, that's what either she time traveled or she's in like her, I guess it'd be her great grandma or great grandma.
Great grandma, right? Yeah,
so
it's her grandma's mom, I think. Okay.
So I'm guessing either she time traveled or she's in like her great grandma's memory almost.
So that's what I'm
interlocked with the Bengal.
I'm gonna my plot twist calling for today is I think she is, so she's in her great grandma's memory, like she's kind of floating around in there. Yeah. She's not actually time travel, and she's in the gauntlet, much like a genie in the bottle or a djinn. Yeah,
I could totally see that.
Now the question is, does the clandestine steal the gauntlet, which like she gets sucked into, kind of a thing?
Could be, yeah. My whole thing was, because when that did happen, like when she stabbed the gauntlet and then it just kind of like erupted and sucked her in. Do you think, was that spear she had, do you think that was just a regular spear, or do you think that was like some also sort of Kree technology that like once they both collided, it kind of caused it to overload or whatever?
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of her weapons. Like, I don't think it's just a regular spear.
Yeah,
like I don't
one of her like interdimensional weapons.
I don't understand enough about them to like I don't think it's vibranium, but like yeah, I would definitely say I think it's like the same dimensional material or technology or whatever as the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Or
and
bangle?
one thing I kind whatever it is, gauntlet, but yeah,
arm
there's
thing.
like a million names. Bracelet.
Watch.
I just kind of hope, because like we still haven't gotten clear like word on where this bangle came. I mean, we know where it came from that like tomb thing or whatever that was, but like there's still speculations that it could be Kree technology or it's some sort of other, if it's owned by the Jinn or whatever. Like I don't know. I feel like I need a I'm sure we'll get it in the next 2 episodes, but
I don't know. See, I feel like we're going to get a half. I don't know. I'm dancing around it. I think we're very much going to get the same kind of explanation that we got in Shang-Chi about the 10 rings. I think we're going to understand how they got to this exact moment.
Yeah.
But we still won't know where its actually origin is.
Yeah. Yeah. We just know that he found it in somewhere and now he has it.
Correct. Like, I think the train story that we're going to get in the next episode is going to explain why the Khan family has the bangle.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll necessarily explain to us what the bangle is or from. And I think that's going to be the extent of what we get this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if we're going to get the second bangle.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I was waiting for like because when her and the grandma were talking like in the room and they were like talking about what happened and everything, I was expecting her to be like, "Oh, well, you need the other one" or something like that, and like you know, but nope.
Unless she finds out in the vision where the second bangle is and gets it in that same episode, I don't see that bangle showing up in this season.
Yeah,
I actually like. If you want to go, this doesn't even have any MCU cameos in it at this point. Like even Miss Marvel, like I would say the second bangle is going to be the credit scene. Like
could be, yeah.
If we're going to stay fully away from that, I wouldn't be shocked if that's what the credit scene is.
Which I mean, it seems like they're doing. They're staying away from as much action, other than like the talk of MCU characters. They're staying away
like Avengers
from
Con, which was fun.
Yeah, but I feel like they're staying away from any sort of cameos.
And I don't hate that. Like no. I didn't dislike it in Moon Knight. Moon Knight was that had zero. I think Moon Knight was the first MCU project with zero cameos from another project since I believe I want to say Iron Man, like one.
Probably.
I forget, but like yeah, like because there was nothing. Like even Iron Man 2 is when you get Thor, right? Like it's something like that. I don't know. Like even the credit scene for Moon Knight is still a reference to Moon Knight, right?
Yeah, it's not like anything. It's not like progressing anything further in the MCU other than Moon Knight's own story.
Correct. So like it doesn't surprise me if that ends up happening. Well, no, I take that back. It doesn't surprise me in the sense of like, okay, like they didn't have cameos in Miss Marvel. They're keeping it all within Miss Marvel. But at the same time, we know it's connected to the Marvels. Yeah. We know she's addicted to Captain Marvel. Like it's the only reason there's no Captain Marvel cameo in this show is if Brie Larson had no interest.
Yeah,
which is I could very possible.
Totally see that happening. Yeah,
apparently is a terrible person, or at least no one likes her on set.
Terrible to work with.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to see a Captain Marvel cameo, but if they brought it in too soon, it would take away from the show and it would take away from like her character and everything.
Like having her actually beat the clandestine would absolutely take away from Miss Marvel, like her as a character. But at the same time, I think Captain Marvel is kind of pivotal to her getting her name. Like even like just like in the I don't know. I don't actually know. So nerds yelling at me is fine. But I believe in the comics, Miss Marvel gets her name with Captain Marvel's like seal of approval. What is that called? Your blessing, her blessing.
Yeah.
I don't think she comes up with the name, but even if I don't know, I feel like they're just too connected of a character base to not have her show up in some way. I don't know. It's me.
One thing I just thought of, does anyone other than like, since we've heard Kamala Khan call her Captain Marvel, have we had her been called Captain Marvel before this? Like they don't call her Captain Marvel like in Endgame and stuff. They just call her whatever the hell her name is. I
No,
forget.
but I don't think we've before this, and something I've really enjoyed about the first episode. Before this, we really haven't had a fan's perspective of the Marvel universe. So like, so when you have everyone calling each other their first names on the team of the Avengers, like like if I know you're Spider-Man, I'm not going to call you Spider-Man. I'm going to call you Brendan,
Peter.
or I'm gonna, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to call you your silly name, our made up names now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like we've never heard Captain Marvel in the universe before, as far as I'm aware. It's to answer your question.
Yeah. I was just because I was like, I don't think. I mean, I know they like, they call Captain America Cap and like, but they don't call Tony Stark Iron Man. They call him Tony.
Like it's. I think
the public calls him Iron Man. I guess
exactly. Yeah. Like it's just kind of, we've never been outside that inner circle before, so we see now, like, yeah, they're obviously fans are calling them their made up names because that's what they would know them as. Like, I don't know if Carol Danvers is public information. Like,
yeah. I couldn't remember. I kept wanting to say Brie because Brie Larson, but I was like, it's not her name in the show or in the movie.
Which, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
What else? Well, okay. So, I mean, going back to the family stuff, like, again, I thought it was super, like, fun and cute. Like, again, we've said it. Like, the show itself is fun, good, family filled fun. Like, I really enjoyed the cousins being there and being really friendly, kind of giving her a hard time, like older siblings, and
her like meeting the cousins and at first being like, I don't know who you people are at all, and then her mom being like, they're your cousins, and her being like, oh yeah. Like, I've had that moment so many times that, like, when you go to like a family reunion and it's like distant cousins, and my parents are like, oh, this is so and so, you met them when you were 2, and you're like, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'll never forget the feeling at my graduation party and just being like, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah, I know.
And that's exactly, it's that, oh, this is your like 3rd, 4th cousin removed, and I'm like, it's great to see you.
Yeah, I've said that.
Thanks for the check.
Yeah, I said that before, where like I've been like, oh, it's nice to meet you, and they've been like, I've met you 5 times. Like,
like, dude, I just did that.
I was little when I met you. So
I went to a site visit, and I was like, oh, so and so said I needed to talk to you, and he was like, oh, I believe you were here last year when I was helping out. I was like, oh, sorry, the masks, we had COVID masks on. I totally forgot. And he was like, oh yeah, exactly. Like, I barely recognized you guys. Like, oh, that was it. That was totally it.
Totally the masks.
Totally the masks. Yep, that's all it was. But yeah, no, I think that's funny. Like, again, it's very much that the writing inner character dialogue just feels very fluid and real, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I kind of want. I want to. After this, I'm going to look up who the writers are, because I feel like they write for shows that are more dialogue driven rather than action driven.
Definitely not their first rodeo.
No.
And her mom, dude, like the grandmom is, it's that classic, like, the grandma's super sweet to her granddaughter, immediately sees her daughter and starts giving her some like lip like action, it's so like, I don't know, immediate. It just feels real, and I really enjoy it. Like, when she gets to the house and she like takes her shoes off and she starts running around like she's been there 1,000 times. I was like, like, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Like, and I don't, the food thing is hilarious too. I love seeing, like, I know a little bit about like Pakistan Indian food, like, but I don't know very much.
Oh, like how spicy it was and everything.
Yeah. So like, seeing her, like, everything she eats is just too spicy for her was kind of funny.
My whole thing was when she went to that like bonfire thing with the Red Dagger kid and like his friends, when she was like, oh, is it spicy? And then he just didn't say anything. I was like, what the hell, man? Just tell her it's not spicy, or if it's spicy. Like, I know he was trying to be like, flirty.
Right.
Like,
he was trying to flirt.
But I was just like, I was sitting there like, just tell her, like, it's gonna burn her intestines if she, like, you know what I mean? Like, just tell her if it's hot or not.
It's funny. I actually took that scene. I thought it was very goofy and like kind of just goofy, but I took that too as like him laughing at her, because like, you're in Pakistan, everything's spicy.
Gonna be spicy. Like,
I even thought like the first thing when she's eating with her cousins and she eats the thing that's too spicy. She's like, "Oh, this is death. Why don't you tell me?" Blah, blah. And then they show it. I was like, "That's the blandest looking food ever." Like,
I know. Yeah. Like,
what are they eating?
yeah, I know.
It's just straight up chopped up peppers inside a bread bowl.
Yeah, like yeah, when they showed it, it was just like, that doesn't look. Usually, like really, really spicy stuff will have like red sauce on it, or at least some sort of flakes or something. Like,
I thought it was funny too that they had Chinese food. Like,
yeah.
When they get to the Red Dagger headquarters or whatever, and they're eating the Chinese food. I'm like, you're in Pakistan, you're eating Chinese.
Yeah, and there was something weird about them walking into this, like, it seemed like centuries old place with like a bag of takeout. Like,
yeah.
like
it was very
I was
funny.
Just like, what?
I will say though, I did really like, just like how the damage control headquarters was cool. This Red Dagger headquarters. I mean, we talked about it was, the table. The headquarters itself was very cool. I like the aesthetic. I like the
layout. It had like when you first walked in, it was like seemed like an old temple type vibes, and then once you got towards like the main area of it, it was more like updated with technology and stuff like that, which was pretty cool.
It was like they kept the like historical with a little bit of modernization kind of thing. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was very cool. I'm still a little bitter that Kamala just hasn't told her mom what's going on. Like,
yeah, I feel like if she said something, it would at least,
I also thought it was funny that she just left America. Like, they just left America on that.
Oh yeah, they just dropped everything and all right, let's forget about school, forget about work.
Screwed up my brother's wedding, but we need to go to Pakistan now. And there was zero.
Yeah, like grandma really wants to see us. Like, okay, well, we can go when we have time. Like, we don't have to drop everything right now. And
like, again, I think Disney and travel, it's just not, that's not realistic. Like,
oh yeah,
like someone in Philly telling me like, you need to come home immediately. And like, unless it's the most dire of emergency, be like, okay, like maybe by the weekend I'll be there. Like, maybe like
not the next day. Yeah. Especially a 22-hour flight to Pakistan.
I know. Oh my God, I know. But it's very okay. I guess my question to you right now, and this is kind of going into our like prediction stuff. Do you think his Kamala Khan's family knows by the end of the series that she is Miss Marvel?
I have a feeling the mom is gonna know.
Okay,
but I don't think the dad and the brother are gonna be.
I don't
cued in on it.
I don't know if I've said this, but I think the dad does know by the end of the series. I actually think I don't know if I've said this yet. I think her mom's gonna die. I'm calling an Uncle Ben death with her mom.
I could see it, and it's kind of her like turning point.
Her taking it seriously, the mature, every hero just has that tragedy that kind of sparks them. And I mean, she's the only one right now in Pakistan with her. I could see maybe something bad happens in episode 5.
She gets like abducted or something, or
and the mom gets involved somehow, maybe with her grandma. But yeah, that's kind of my like dark thoughts.
I definitely have either the mom or the grandma will die.
Yeah. I mean, that's
but possibly the mom though. I could see that.
I could totally see the grandma being like she pulls out the other bangle or something, or puts hers on
and tries to
and tries to use it and something bad happens to her, but she saves the day still. Like, you're right. I definitely look. I think we're gonna get another death. I don't think Red Dagger Daddy was enough.
No, he was not satisfactory to the MCU death gods.
The MCU death needs to matter to our main character, not just some side character.
Not just some guy we met 5 minutes ago. Yeah. I mean, predictions of the next. I don't even know where this is going. I mean, obviously, we're gonna dive deeper into this if we're in a flashback or a time travel, but where it goes after that. No idea.
So, I mean, my whole thing is at this point, do we even go back to America in this series?
Right. I feel like we just stay in Pakistan.
Like, is Bruno like just he's gonna go to California and that's the last we heard of him? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
I don't see how they wrap this up.
We have 2 episodes left, and unless somehow they're gonna end it on a cliffhanger for the second season, but I don't know how that would work if the Marvels is coming out next year. So
the fact that the fact that a sequel is essentially confirmed as a movie with the Marvels, like we know how much involved she's going to be, like she's a main character. It's so bizarre thinking about season 2 because to me, it's the movies in the way. Like, like it's almost like, have you ever had a cartoon like The Simpsons? Simpsons. I love The Simpsons. I love the Simpsons movie, but the Simpsons movie doesn't impact you if you go and watch the seasons before and after the movie came out.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering if that's what they're going to do with the Marvels. Like, is it not going to matter?
Could be. Yeah. It could
Which
be like
would
a
be
standalone
insane.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like every Disney Plus show has added on to what's going to happen in future MCU projects. Like, WandaVision led to Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. Loki's gonna add to Quantumanium.
Mm-hmm.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is,
I mean,
new Captain America. Yeah.
It's Cap. Like he's gonna impact the whole series essentially, or the whole universe.
Moon Knight didn't really affect any future things.
No, but I
think of, but he might team up with like Blade and Black Knight and stuff like that. And,
right. We also don't with Moon Knight. We don't know what his next thing is, and I think that's what's interesting / confusing about this is we know the next thing from Miss Marvel. It's the Marvels.
Yeah.
Like, but there's so much happening in this season that it has to be setting up for a season 2. Yeah. Which makes no sense with the Marvels also coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I just have no idea how those 3 things,
unless maybe the Marvels would just be like a Disney Plus property and not like a widely distributed movie. But I don't know though. Yeah.
Then you have like, it's almost like what are the defenders to the individual Netflix properties, I guess, right? Like, I don't know, man. That's crazy. It's nuts. I just don't know. And I think that's my issue right now. I almost wish I almost wish the Marvels wasn't announced so far ahead that this was affecting me thinking about this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would just be like, oh, it's just getting pushed to season 2. It's just gonna push to season 2.
Yeah.
But like
now it's like, well, there's a whole movie coming out with other characters that she's gonna be involved with. So it's like
assumably the Marvels is going to have her and her family. Like, let's just say even just her parents.
It would have made a little more sense, I feel like.
Yes. It's not that it's not that it would have been better or worse. It's just I think it would have been, because I would just be like, oh, we're gonna deal with Bruno and Knox in season 2, I guess. Like, like that's just what they're setting this up to deal with. And I think that still is the case. Like, that's why, like, I really do think like the movie is really going to be a focus on Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, probably dealing with some cosmic energy stuff, because I mean, how do you have a Captain Marvel sequel and not have it be cosmic? Like,
exactly.
If she's stuck on Earth, like that's almost like boring, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense for the movie.
So maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that we'll just get like her mom and dad or whatever in the movie. And yeah, maybe the Miss Marvel show just keeps continuing this characters' relationships or in their day-to-day lives. I don't know, and it's just kind of weird to me. I think it feels like too much is in the air already with 2 episodes left.
Yeah, there's a lot to be explained in 2 hours,
and that's what, like, I think I've just accepted they're not going to do that.
Yeah It's I don't know. I'm starting to lose hope in the show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still like we've said, the family aspects are good, but
there's good in the show. It's just not what it's not the stuff I wanted to be good.
Yeah, like I expected by now for her to be fully costumed,
kind of
crime fighting around the city, not venturing through Pakistan and time traveling now. Like
I don't know, man. It's weird. I mean, I think it has some of the greatest characters and some of the worst Marvel content. And I can't sum it up better than that. It's so uninteresting in the Marvel sense.
Yeah. It's not even like I knew going into it thinking it was going to be like a Gen Z type show, like with a bunch of,
it's not
because
that's the stuff that I'm saying is interesting.
Yeah. Like that's what I was thinking too. Like, oh, that's, all the like the texting scenes and all the this and that, and I thought like the family drama was going to be the annoying part, but turns out it's the complete opposite. Like I like the family drama and the fight scenes, and the villains kind of like like
that's what we're gonna. The clandestine final battle is going to be so. I don't care.
It's gonna be so weak, and also just compared to the other MCU villains we've gotten, and the one that we're about to get, that's probably gonna be one of the best after like Thanos and like Gore.
Yeah, I assumed you were saying Gore.
But like these villains are just like run of the mill. I don't care. Like they might as well have been just some side character bad guys in Spider-Man. Like,
I mean, they're just so uninteresting in so many ways, and I just don't care about them. And I'm like, they're gonna get locked up by Damage Control is gonna have them locked up at the end of the series, and I'm gonna be like, all right, cool, go away.
What's next? Yeah, like I feel like it would have been cooler if they somehow mixed in the mutants or the Inhumans rather than this like clandestine group. Like it would have made. I don't know the background of the Humans. I don't know if they're good or bad guys. Like some of them are good, some of them are bad.
But mix. It's same as X-Men kind of a thing.
Okay.
And that's like I don't know. This is the first. I'm surprised they didn't bring. I'm not surprised they didn't bring mutants in, because I think they're still. I think Feige's kind of freaking out. He doesn't know what to do with them.
Doesn't know how to slip them in. Yeah.
How do you just explain mutants that's been in existence?
Because everything else has just been in like an enhanced individual. Like right. It's not. They haven't disclosed the term mutants yet in the 14 years that we've had the MCU.
Wild, but yes, I think that. But I am surprised. Like, I'm not surprised they didn't bring in mutants, although I think it could have been a good opportunity to. Yeah. I am surprised Inhumans weren't brought in at all. Like they are ditching that entirely.
Yeah. Yeah. Which doesn't make sense, because there was an Inhuman in Doctor Strange. I mean, I know it was a multiverse thing, but still it was an Inhuman. Like,
yeah, I think, I don't know. I think they're just trying to step away from that. And like, I disagree. I mean, I don't care enough to disagree. Like, I just think that would have made it more interesting.
Yeah. Rather than a random group we've never heard of before. And
like, I don't
some random pool from a 90s or 80s and 90s comic series.
Exactly. I don't need a Inhumans show or movie or anything, but like
just throw them into a property.
Like, right. And have them exist. Like, okay, like, maybe Black Bolt shows up in Fantastic Four or Avengers 5. Like I don't want an Inhumans thing, but I'm just shocked they didn't use this opportunity to introduce them.
Yeah, we don't need like another origin of them.
No, that's probably why they haven't done it, because they're trying to figure that out, which is the wrong move.
How to introduce them without doing an origin, but still doing an origin at the same time.
You could have easily had like Miss Marvel's origin be an Inhuman origin, and then you just like, oh, that's how all Inhumans like went through the process. Boom, great.
There you go.
I know how the Inhumans work.
And now they exist in the MCU. Like that would have made so much sense.
They've been in hiding for 20 years. Great. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. That works.
Done. Yeah. There needs to be more connections going on, I think. And I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know why, I guess is the way I'm saying. Because I liked Moon Knight, and Moon Knight wasn't connected to anything else. But Miss Marvel isn't connected to anything else, and I'm bored. And I think it's just because the villains are boring and her powers are just not really being explained. And I feel like it needs help. And that's where even Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is gonna like that would swoop in and be like, okay, there's an up factor a little bit at least.
Yeah. It's just this show is trying too hard to do too much. I feel like between the family dynamic, her powers, the grandma, the clandestines, now the Red Dagger, like there's just so much going on.
Like I as you said that though, like I'm sitting here, I'm almost excited for season 2, where they can just like shoot the shit kind of a like thing,
Like
I mean, Red Dagger and Cameron meet, and they go like they fight a little bit because they're all jealous of each other over Kamala Khan. Like you just have all those people there already, and you can just interact.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know. I hope that'll at least be a better story, because this is I hope I never hear the word clandestine again, or clandestine, or two words, or whatever it is.
It keeps popping up. The Darth Plagueis book I'm reading, that word keeps popping up, and I'm like, don't tell me they're coming in here. I'm like, oh, different, property in general. The clandestine.
Not you.
Yeah, not in Star Wars.
That's great. What was I gonna say? Speaking of Star Wars, I did have a Star Wars. Oh, you mentioned I didn't actually respond to your text, but Star Wars related. The Mace Windu talk, love it. Yeah. I've always been pro Mace lived.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see Disney doing that, like pulling that out of nowhere because Boba Fett lived. Like we all thought Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc pit, so like
honestly, so for anyone watching, Mace Windu apparently is rumored to be returning in Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2, or Book Part 2. I don't know. I don't know what the terminology they're using is. But you texted me that. My genuine shock was at I didn't know they were doing season 2.
I didn't know that either. I kind of thought it was a one and done type thing because
the Mace Windu appearing was like a fist pump. Yes, hell yeah. The Boba Fett part, I was like, wait,
they're doing a yeah.
It's not in Mandalorian or something. Like it's a Boba Fett like that.
Yeah, I feel like that would make more sense to be put in Mandalorian because we got Baby Yoda and.
I think he should have Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was a miss. Like I thought that would have been a cool cameo because Mace Windu is someone I could have seen like him interacting with on the Dark Streets planet. I forget what that was. But like running into him there and them talking and Mace just being like, I'm out. Like I could see him being like, I'm not coming back. I'm out. Sorry, you're on your own.
You see what he did to me? Like
like he is your problem. Like I think that would have been a cool cameo. But as far as returning as a main character, sure, yeah. I mean, I don't care. Bring him back, absolutely. Love.
I mean, with what they did with Book of Boba Fett, anyway, pretty much turned into Mandalorian season 3. So I feel like
turned into Mace Windu season 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like just have him be the focal and just have Boba Fett there. Like,
I think enough crew fans and him are actually chirping in Disney's ear to get that going because he apparently was I forget recently interviewed and he said something along the lines of I don't really care for all the Oscar-y movies and Oscar talk kind of stuff. He's like, I'd much rather do stuff and he literally was just like, I'd much rather do some Nick Fury movie or some new Mace Windu movie. I love how much of a nerd he really is. Like he just doesn't care about
I love his have you ever heard his explanation of why he had why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber?
Oh yeah.
He's like, because I thought it was cool and I wanted to have it, so they let me have it.
There's actually a recording of him going to George Lucas about it.
Really? That's pretty cool.
And I'll find it to send to you. But basically, it's just he walks up to George Lucas and is like, "Can someone get a purple lightsaber?" And George is like, "Well, or no, sorry, I already messed it up." But Mace Windu. Samuel Jackson walks up to George Lucas and he's like, so I wanted to talk to you about my lightsaber color. And George is just like, well, there's, 3 colors. It's red for the bad guys. Purple, and, if you're a Jedi, you're either green or you're blue. And Sam Jackson's just like, what about purple? And George is just like, it could be purple.
we can make that work.
He just has the biggest grin on his face. Like, got it.
I just love, and then fans made up theories. Isn't it purple means you were trained in Sith arts, but you're mainly Jedi or something?
There's absolutely now there's canon lore to the color, but
and it's it was literally just Samuel L. Jackson. I want my lightsaber to be purple.
The lore is something along the lines of you walk the line of the dark side and the light side.
Yeah.
It's because it's the color between red and blue. So it's
that makes sense.
I forget if it's you start as a Sith or you start as a Jedi. It's just you walk that line and you tiptoe it.
Which makes sense for Mace Windu. I mean, he does kind of have
I've seen theories that if he actually did kill Palpatine, he would have became a new Sith because he struck him down in anger and etc. Sith stuff. So I love it. I love the lore. It's great. Purple. But yeah, going back to Miss Marvel, I don't have anything else to say about part 4.
Yeah, that's pretty much
part 5. I think it's gonna be a doozy, to be honest.
Yep, I feel like we're in a next 2-part stink fest, if we're gonna be honest, or at least episode 5 5 is gonna be what the hell is going on.
I just hope the end of the whole show has me high enough to be all right, well, bring on the movie.
Yeah,
the movie's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
and that's kind of my takeaway.
Yeah, it was a good dialogue driven episode, not a great action MCU typical episode. I feel like.
Yeah, it's not great MCU at all. Yeah, I'm done.
Yep. Yeah. I don't got
all
anything
right.
else.
Thanks everyone for listening and watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Still trying to get to 35 subscribers. And leave a comment as to if you agree if it's bad MCU or good MCU.
Yeah. If what you're feeling on the part 4 of Miss Marvel. But all right, we'll catch you on the next one.